everybody. Oh, music time.
Hopefully it'll work this time. Hopefully it'll work this time.
Hopefully it will work this time. Yeah.
Hope.
Yeah.
Fully hope. Hope. Fully. Yeah, you said it in sync with me. That was weird. How did that even happen?
Yeah. Well, better to do it by the same then.
I can actually hear you talk. Interesting. Well, now I can't. Way to prove me wrong. This is the coolest countdown music of any show anywhere.
Yeah.
And Facebook calls us insignificant.
A bunch of idiots. Silly goose.
I think if I had to choose between the
so
two of them, which I'm thankful I don't, but if I had to choose between the two of them, I have to go with Rob Scott, because let's face facts, Bob Doyle is an extra.
C'est le Lounge Show avec Rob Scott et Bob Doyle, deux diffuseurs vétérans qui aiment s'entendre parler et qui réussissent d'une manière ou d'une autre à se supporter. Voyons si vous pouvez les supporter aussi bien. Voici Rob et Bob.
Hey, what the heck?
Good time.
Well, that is Facebook's opinion of our audience.
Yeah, so that hasn't been remedied yet. We're still kicked out. We're still ostracized.
We're still insignificant.
Insignificant.
Although, so here's what I thought of, though. So, do you know what a chatbot is?
Heard it. Don't really know how to apply it. So I'm going to go with
a lot of web pages, websites, and companies have a little chatbot now on their web page, and it's basically it's AI that's trained on everything you need to know about the company, so you can talk to it like a person, and it will answer you in real language. But it knows everything, right? And so it's available anytime. And one of the things you can make a chatbot out of is all the content on your YouTube channel. So I've got a couple of them, like, all my law of attraction stuff. Now you can go and ask any question I covered on any video on all those years. And same with Bob Doyle Media, any AI animation question, what video did you do this in? You did a Squidward clone voice. Which one was that? Boom, and it pulls up everything with a summary. It's quite amazing. So we could do the same thing, and I meant to do it, but I'll tell you why I didn't in a second, for our channel. And I don't know why the hell, but Tracy came up with a great use case for that. If it knew, and it hasn't been on YouTube since the beginning. It's not. It's a subset of, but it's probably still a good collection. But if it had them all, we could do like a tally of the points in the hopper.
Oh, I see. Okay.
In theory, like we could find out how many does Jason really have.
Right.
Every time. So, and I don't know what other kind of weird stories or trivia is tucked away in everything we've said.
Right. You could just literally punch up Lounge Around the House game and see how many times we talked about the Lounge Around the House game, which, by the way, for those who don't know, it is a wonderful, it's a great stocking stuffer, and it comes in this beautiful burnt orange corduroy carrying case so that you can lounge around the house on the go.
Do you know that now that I'm thinking this through, because we just thought of this a little bit ago, but if it knows everything, right, it could actually help us develop the game.
Sure, it could.
And also,
I like that. Now I see where you're going. It
knows everything, so it could give us ideas for like tap into everything you know about games, popular games, board games, family games, and take this and how could we make a game out of it in the style of, I don't know, Monopoly, or in the style of whatever, Candyland. That seems like actually a pretty good
Chutes and Ladders.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Chutes and Ladders. That kind of progression.
Like, I don't know. I like Trouble because it has the Pop-O-Matic. I would like that.
That's the name of Kenner's Pop-O-Matic game.
Yeah.
But
Game Trouble had a Pop-O-Matic in dead center, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely, it did.
Just so we're on the same page here. Yeah, This is good. In fact, we use a similar technology at work. And what it won't do, unless you want it to, it won't go out and swim around the web for a question. It will only use the database of everything we've written. So it's kind of enclosed, but it's 10 years worth of writing, 10 years worth of outline. And so you're kind of stumped. You got a blank page. Give me something on whatever topic, Social Security, and it'll spit out 10 years worth of crap that we've already previously written.
And it can take all of it and compile new ideas or whatever from it. Like,
correct. And so to your point, you could get all of the lounge shows put together, and then it could help us develop the Lounge Around the House game.
It could write a whole script. It could write a whole script for the show, and then we could run it through 11 Labs or any other way I've got us cloned, and actually have a completely AI-generated lounge show.
Well, yeah, because the stuff that I'm working with too at work will also do graphics. It'll do graphic art. It'll do
this easy peasy.
Yeah.
Generate ourselves, but even us, even us. Oh
no,
I'm
just saying, like, now it's already created because we've paid for this years ago, but it would have been able to create the Lounge Show logo if we didn't have a Lounge Show logo. It could have done that too for us.
I should have a different. I should settle on an appropriate background, like a lounge. I've had the bar.
Hopefully, one day I'll be able to do the fancy stuff you do if I ever feel like
getting that card,
ponying up the dough.
Yeah, it is a big pony.
It is. I know it is. It's a very large pony.
And unless you're,
9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Holy moly, people are watching.
Union.
They don't know. They've been glued and riveted. They don't even know what they're watching. And we didn't tell them.
It's a union obligation.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Folks, welcome to the Lounge Show. I'm Bob Doyle, as it says under my chin.
Yeah, and I'm Rob Scott, as it says under mine, and I'm in Atlanta.
Weekend special.
And Bob's boiling in
104 degrees in Henderson, ladies and gentlemen. We are under a heat warning, as we have been. But I got to say, 104, that's not, it's a slight, like, 10-degree cooling. Well, we're in the middle right now. But last week we had kind of where we were last week, which was a little bit lower, like in the low 100s. And now we're inching back up to the 110, 111, 112 for a couple of days, and then we're going to settle back down into the play the Groundhog Day music because I'm doing the weather.
Oh, I can do that.
I know you were just doing it though. I know. Now we're going to get that little thing. Your audio has been muted in some countries because Rob is drop happy.
Drop happy. So
as he should be. That's the spirit of the show. We need more drops, and I cannot lie.
Well, no, I don't know. Because I played Groundhog Day there, we got in trouble. They're sending us
No. I get that warning whether or not. I think it's the countdown music, or maybe it's the whatever. Just some countries, I guess, aren't licensed for our theme, so. That's probably why we have no reason.
So Legal gets some crap from time to time. The guys up in Legal are receiving some.
They're working 20-hour days, Rob.
Going to cost us a fortune then.
Every time I walk by there,
by the hour.
Every time I walk past those big glass walls, it's just pacing. It's pacing.
Yeah.
And a lot of tie loosening. It's like, how much more loose can you get? I mean, it's been 20 hours, and they still find. They still find a little bit more, and it doesn't look goofy, right? It doesn't look. Sure. It's not like a clown. It's like somehow they pull it off. Like they must have. I don't know. They're just pros. They're pros.
Well, that's what
they're real madmen type.
That's a course. That's
Draper's
an actual course in law school. I think it's second year. You have to take that tie wrangling course. Tie pull.
What do you call it? Wrangling?
Tie wrangling. Yeah. Well, I like tie pull, but tie pull sounds like a stripper name or a guy who was in like Love Boat.
He worked with.
I think he'd be a good love. There's
handball.
So on the what
was it? Handball. Who was the character we're supposed to come up with?
Yeah, handball.
Okay, it's with handball.
Handball sells you a Rolex.
Handball
watch.
Lecter. That's his name. His last name has to be Lecter.
Handball. Was it handball? See, we could ask the chatbot to do that too.
Yes.
All the people we've created on the show.
Was it handball though?
Was it handball?
Was it handball? Was it?
I don't know. I know he had a bald spot. I know that, and he wore a hat. I know that handball wore a hat. If it was handball, was it handball? It wasn't 8-ball.
No. I think
but
it started with an H.
Yeah, it did.
I
think it is handball.
I think it is too. I'm pretty sure it is.
No one cares, but we do. So anyway, handball. We talked a lot about handball last week. If you weren't with us last week,
handball Lecter. It has to be.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Handball H Lecter.
What's the H stand for?
Right, exactly. So, right. Handball Lecter. H. H was his middle initial. Mr. Handball Lecter. Handball H Lecter. What's it stand for? And you do it in a snotty way, like as if
you have
I'm going to tell you.
You have to.
That's so I saw.
I would be so bummed if it wasn't handball now, and Lecter doesn't
I think
work.
it is. I think it is handball.
I'm
I think
pretty
that
sure
was his
it
name,
is.
handball, and he was a ne'er do well. He was.
All we got to do is check the comments from last week, and
sure. And they're ready
Tracy,
to fire this week, and I see no one's there. But that's no. But you did put out marketing today. I noticed that the lounge show with Stix and Stohnz, Stix being spelled Stix, and Stohnz Stohnz.
Hey man, that's just how the publicist sent it to us.
You've got a notification there. Someone wants to tell you something.
Yeah. Okay. So I haven't gotten to this story yet. Hold on, just 1 second.
Oh, is this like having a producer in your ear?
Hold on. 2 things. I thought I'd sent this earlier. Oh, come on. Bluetooth phone. No?
Are you in trouble?
No. I thought I sent this. I thought I'd sent this earlier, and it's fine if you give them our number, period.
What are
I'm going to tell you. I just have to do this, and then you'll understand
you talking
why.
about? All right.
You're still kind of choppy on me. Okay,
we will be right back.
No, we're back
after
now.
We're
back.
Oh, we're back.
I
Okay.
need that sound effect of the record scratching. I need that on my end.
Well,
And when I do that, it automatically shuts off your audio.
oh, really?
No,
That
I
would be
could do it.
funny.
I could do it. That would be funny. But you should have the same power. So right before the show, my neighbor sent me a text and sent me with a picture, which I'm not quite sure where it came from. Come to think of it, I guess maybe another neighbor sent her a picture of water coming out of her garage. And she wasn't here at the moment.
Not
so
good.
I went in
Not
there and
good.
So it was just a hot water heater. So I had to turn off.
Actually, it's not, though. It's not called that. I'm being a real a-hole now, but it's not called a hot water heater. It's called a water heater. Why in dear God's name would you heat hot water? So it's not a hot water heater. It's just a water heater. It's kind of like bread goes into a toaster.
ATM machine.
ATM machine, right? Or as Lenny said one time.
Okay.
Long stem roses. I was going to tell the long stem roses. He goes, "Why is long stem in quotations?" He noticed it on a billboard. Why is long stem in quotations? Did someone say that, like Lincoln or something? Is that why they put it in quotations? That's a Lenny observation.
Well, we used to call them long stems.
Yeah.
Can I quote you on that, sir?
Sure.
We just called them stems before.
Right.
It's another real Don Draper things. A real Mad Men twist. You know, it's like, how do you make your tobacco? Well, we grow it in a field. It's toasted. There you go. It's toasted. Their competitors are toasted. No, theirs is poison. Yours is toasted. And whatever I just said applied.
Losing. Are you quoting Mad Men? Would you calm down? Do you take a pill or something before we open the lounge? What's your
I'm
deal?
supposed to, and I forgot. Okay.
Jesus, H, what is it? His middle name is too.
It was named. Well, this handball was named after him. They were a very religious family. Oh,
they were very religious. Family. That's
the
right.
Lecters, very religious.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Oh,
yes.
Tracy just chimed in, but I don't know what she's laughing at. Could be any number of things.
Any number of things. So, what was I going to tell? Oh, I saw your squid video. That was interesting today as I was perusing.
How about that? Yeah.
That was nice. Actually, I like that. I like the fact that traffic keeps moving in the background and everything else. That was pretty slick.
I'm telling you, that is my next video tomorrow. Is that's a mashup of two different main technologies. One creates the picture. It's a new image it's a new text to image model, which is amazing, and it does text and all kinds of cool stuff, like the squid. All that stuff was all the sign was text, and it was beautiful. It was a great still image. And then Kling AI is just one of three main contenders of taking an image and figuring out what to do to animate it. And what this one and others will do is, you can keep extending it. So the first one was just sort of a pan of the squid, and then I extended it and said, okay, now the squid, burst into movement, and then the next one was like, okay, and now he climbs off.
So that was about 14 seconds. How long did that take you from start to finish?
Well, with the rendering, it takes 2 seconds to type it, but it's the waiting, right? So, and that varies depending on how busy the thing is. I think those actually were a little quicker. Maybe took me 3 minutes each or whatever to wait for, but I'm telling you, sometimes it takes longer. And then there's another service where you'll literally wait for 9 hours. But, it's amazing technology. If you want to play with it, it's really, you can do some cool stuff with it. So, I'm working on all kinds of stuff with it right now because it's hot, baby. It's hot in the AI space.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's one of the hottest topics now because it's getting so real.
What would if you had to tell me the title of that topic, what would it be? Just AI
generated video, yeah.
Video. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Yeah. And so folks are using obviously in a million different applications. Whether it just be for entertainment purposes
now,
or for marketing.
Truly you'll be able to create your own B-roll.
Well, that's pretty
Plus with and this is some of the stuff I'm putting into the video tomorrow. You can do characters and then do a simple face swap with you in it or whomever. And then you can clone the voice. And now the other tech that I have been talking about lately is something called Live Portrait. And what it will do is if I take a video and let's say it's me talking, I'm doing facial expression, I'm doing all this stuff, it'll take that and then put it on somebody else's face on another video. So their face will now move exactly and say, whatever. And then, of course, you can clone the voice. And it's getting crazy out there. So you can really, truly cast your own film. And
I'm okay. I never saw. Then it just comes down to processing power. If you want to make a film, it's going to take a while for all these things to render up.
Right. And those services, all the ones that are major contenders, are not running on my system. They're using much more powerful computers than I have. So
you're asking their computer to do it. You're giving it instructions. Their computer spits it out and pushes it back.
That's correct.
You don't have a garage filled with air conditioners that like Lucas does.
No, but honestly, this tech, I'm guessing, will be runnable on our own system, something better, easily within the year.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's just getting crazy, and it's a fun space to be in, and it's really, it's interesting how many people don't really even know that it's a thing.
That's a lot of stuff in the world. I no joke. I was talking to a buddy the other day about tertiary, just the top 2-3% of the topic of politics. We were just having a politic conversation, which I don't really like doing, but he and I agree on a lot of stuff, so fine. But it fascinated us just how many people aren't following that topic. And because we kind of do, then same thing. You live in that. You've followed that. So it fascinates you that a lot of people don't know all. You don't know this?
I'm glad, though. I'm glad.
Well, sure.
I like telling people about it on my YouTube channel. That is basically my job now, right? But
right.
I'm glad that people are still needing to know about it, wanting to know about it, excited about knowing about it, and that creatively, it's kind of it's kind of this creative secret weapon that people who know how to use it can use to do crap that was just freaking impossible a year ago in terms of filmmaking or storytelling or whatever. You don't need anybody else if you have the imagination and the patience to deal with the tech.
Now you sound like you're doing a Willy Wonka. Anytime Bob Doyle, says the word imagination, I think of that tune that comes from Willy Wonka that you like to play.
But really, you do want a team. You want somebody to take this part and this part and this part, and just like it's a film crew, but they all have very different jobs. But
who does the gaffing work?
Gaffigan.
Gaffigan, okay. As opposed to Hannibal Lecter, who's acting in it. And actually, as it turns out, he's a good character actor. We didn't know that because he's been a con man for so long. He's been acting his whole life, in theory. He's been a grifter, a matchstick man.
Wow.
Yeah. So here's an earworm that's been in my ear all weekend, like for the last week or something.
So you can pass it.
Thank you. I think John Williams wrote that.
He did.
Yeah.
But what version is that?
Oh, a cheap one that I found online just real
Okay,
quick.
I was going to say, that sounds like some midied up.
Yes, it
version.
does sound something. When I heard it, I go, I just don't feel like looking anymore. I was going to try to find the big 90-piece orchestra one, and I go, screw it. It's 3 minutes before lounge time.
Yeah, that was
just
all
grab-
that 96, or was it written for that?
I don't. Now that's
But
a good question.
did a soundtrack. He did the soundtrack, or there was that soundtrack for the Olympic Games. I wonder if that's on Spotify, because there was a couple of things on there I really liked. I'm trying to remember what the sport was.
Oh, there's this one too, and I can hear Jim McKay.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is on Spotify, but it's just a cheapy version. It's like one of those albums that you would buy at like 3 a.m. on CD.
And who can forget? Who can forget 1990?
Right, and they're all iterations. Every Olympics, they have the same bass. It's kind of like a movie score. Excuse me, where they'll have the one tune and then they vary it throughout the film. Sometimes a violin will take the lead, sometimes a trumpet or what, but it's the same song. It's just like what he did with Star Wars, where he had Leia's theme and all these, and then different variations on it, but it's the same song.
Sure, he really isn't that talented. He's like an 8-note wonder.
Oh,
I'm
not saying that.
He just takes the same do, re, mi, fa, and he just rearranges them and stacks them on top of each other a little bit differently. And he calls himself a freaking
too many
musician.
Notes. There's too many notes.
Just tell me which ones to get rid of.
To get rid of. I saw an interview or heard an interview once with Spielberg when he was going to play him the Jaws theme. And it was 2 stinking notes, man. And Spielberg thought he was kidding. He goes, da-da.
I paid you, so that's approximately $300,000 a note.
For kids. It's kind of that same.
There you go, yes.
It's kind of the same kind of a pitch because it's so simple.
It's really weird that we're talking about Jaws, because I was with this the model that I used to create the initial image of the squid is called Flux, which I love.
Yeah.
And but I did a bunch of shark pictures today. Shark attack pictures, to be specific. And so the fact that we're talking Jaws, it just is muy interesante to me. A mí. Es muy interesante a mí.
What does that mean exactly?
It's very interesting to me.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah, but I said it in like you're
No,
learning how to pronounce Spanish for the first time.
Okay, see.
Did you never take a Spanish? What foreign language did you take?
German. It's really worked out well. That got me far. I
have never heard you say any German except you quoting about, why can't I come up with his name? He spoke German when he was, come on.
Keith Downey.
Yes, thank you.
Buns.
So I wouldn't have come up with that, but yes.
That was his nickname.
I
Buns.
know, but I forgot about that.
I took German for 2 years, freshman, sophomore year in high school for my, language requirement. And yeah, that's helped just immensely. I can't even count how many times I've pulled on that thread and got through some sticky situations, being able to just recite some stuff in German.
I mean, at Oktoberfest, you're the hero. You can say, das...
Ich spreche keine Deutsch. I speak a little German.
Wow, man. That should get you in the door anyway.
Yeah, that's sure it will.
Yeah,
Where's the bathroom?
And if it'd be fun is if the this would have been fun 20 years ago, but if the quartet had learned some German, Bavarian, I don't know, song to go to an Oktoberfest and dress, wear your lederhosen, or have like have some sort of something that you just put on your pants to suggest lederhosen, really offensive, and then sing, and then in barbershop sing just something in a really offensive accent.
And now der Cumberland Quartet.
Kumpaland.
Yeah.
Kumpaland.
So yeah, I took 2 years of German. The only thing I remember that was neat about that course was our German teacher. She had studied in Germany. She was an exchange student when she was in high school or whatever. She said, I lived there for like 3 months or whatever. And she said when she got back, she still dreamed in German for a couple of months.
Oh, wow.
And I found that really fascinating. That's the only takeaway I had from those 2 years is that how the brain about, and now anyone I know who speaks 2 languages fluently, I always ask them that question, or 3 languages, whatever.
Do you ever dream in that language?
Right. What language do you dream in? Like my boss, he spoke Spanish first.
I dream in the language of the soul.
Yeah, he's never answered with that answer.
Really?
But I did. So he was born in a home that spoke Spanish, and he then obviously English was his second language, and he learned it so well he was a DJ, which fascinates me. Now think of that. There's no Spanish accent at all, because he speaks completely. He speaks American, as Jim Gaffigan would say. I speak the language of Jesus, American. I've always liked that answer. But yeah, he speaks. If you talk to him, you would never know. And I find that fascinating that he is the second language he learned. He did it so well, he earned a living speaking with the second language, not just communicating.
Yes, we dear Botito.
And in fact, on a country, that was his jam. He did country music, all country stations. So those are some.
Wait, those are country stations in Spanish?
No, that's my point. And so a lot of country station listeners might not like someone exactly speaking with a Spanish accent, is my point.
Sure.
And he did it that well.
I got you.
And I've asked him, and he usually says it's the topic. If he's having dreams about when he's a little boy at home, he dreams in Spanish. But if it might have been something about, 2 months ago or a year ago, he dreams in English. I find the brain fascinating on that. But I don't remember how to say just about anything in German. That's all. That was my takeaway, is that she dreamed in another language. And the concept, I had never given the concept any thought.
I think I find that most people who took Spanish generally took anywhere between 2 to 4 years, whether, in high school and then maybe some in college, and that they retain probably more than somebody who, that they retain some Spanish. It just seems like to me that the people who learn Spanish, they remember sort of the basics. They know how to conjugate some of the words. They remember key ones. Like, I can't remember how to do any, future, past, whatever. I remember what I remember, but I feel like I still can make it out or whatever. Okay, well, that was just useless rambling. Let's go back and take that again from...
Oh, you want to do it again?
From where Latback comes in. And the hot weather heater. Nope, we got to try it again.
Wow.
Let's play it. And so I just had to...
Oh, my gosh.
One more time.
Okay.
And that's why I was a little late getting ready for the show.
Yeah, I know. That happens sometimes. You never know where you put your deodorant. It's like your car keys. I can't find mine sometimes either, so don't be embarrassed.
Man, don't bring up that trip to Bulgaria again.
Bulgaria?
You heard me.
Yeah, I did. I'm pretty sure you said Bulgaria. You know, it would have been a good language for me to take. It would be Irish. What'd you take in high school? Irish. Confuse people with that. So how do you say, go to church and Irish go to church? I just think that would be kind of funny.
Only if you... No.
Prisoner for AMC. 30 seconds.
There you go.
Stereo mix.
That's it right there. Except, I don't know, is that Scottish or is that Irish? I think that's Irish.
The Prisoner for AMC. 30 seconds.
Man, when she says 30, that is just so badass cool. And I don't even know
how
long
what she's doing right now. What if she's listening to the show? What if she's that woman who thinks that she's texting some other lounge show?
Oh, that would be...
that I can't remember her name right offhand. Mia, maybe? She texts and she comments on the show and the guests we have and what we talked about on our page. Although, no more, Mia, because
the page is gone.
We are no longer able to stream there because we are insignificant.
We can't turn the page anymore, like Bob Seger would say, because there's no page to turn. I don't know. Are we going to do a commercial, though, and put it on there? I'm serious. We have to do a commercial.
Oh, God, we keep talking about that. Right.
I keep talking about that. We don't. You always go, oh, my God. And then
let's do it right now.
All right.
What
are we supposed to say? Seriously, just give me some sense of direction.
All we're doing is saying, that, hey, thanks for stopping by the Lounge Show Facebook page, but unfortunately, Facebook finds us completely insignificant. And therefore, if you want to watch us live, you have to watch us over at our YouTube channel, which is at YouTube, which is the...
Can we point down when we do that and you'll put it up there? Will you put the little graphic? Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, do we want to start with,
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
and then we launch into it?
Sure. Let me.
Or do we want to use the countdown music? Or do we want to use the lounge show music? Of course, you can put that in post. You can do all of this in post. I'm not going to play audio. You'll do whatever you want to do in post.
All right.
I'm
hold
just
on.
here to say a few words.
Okay, we're gonna keep this. We're gonna keep this as part of the show. This is
Yeah.
like bonus content,
Sure it
but
is.
I do need to turn off the comments, and because that's where
Okay.
we'll put like the URL, which I could do now, but
Whatever you want to do.
I'll do it.
You just point me in a direction, Bob, and that's the
I'll
direction
do it
I'll
in.
walk.
I'll do it in post. Here we go. Hi, I'm Bob Doyle.
I'm Rob Scott.
And thanks for stopping by the Lounge Show page here on Facebook. Well, we've got some bad news and we got some good news.
Okay, give them the bad news first.
Bad news is Lounge Show here is no more because Facebook finds us to be, in their words, insignificant.
Plus, the rent was high. We got tired of paying these exorbitant amounts of
It
rent.
really wasn't worth it for the microwave, was it? Because we're doing the show. We're not making s'mores.
So now you can find us where?
You have to go over to YouTube. I'm sorry, you get to go over to YouTube where you can find us broadcasting this live, and our little handle is at The Real Lounge Show. So youtube.com/ and then the at symbol. Well,
So
look,
don't
it's right
be-
under
don't-
us. Don't try to
That's
remember.
right there. And don't
It's
be
right.
confused by cheap imitations. Go to the real.
You're right. There's others, but that's not us. So that's it.
No.
But anyway, sorry if you got attached to us over here, but you can get attached to us over there. And while you're at it, tell everyone you know to do the same.
Sure, tell two friends.
And they'll tell two friends.
And so on and so on.
So
Now you're supposed to hit the Gaffigan thing or the Morgan Freeman thing.
And with those words, I am the hell out of here. I had enough of this foolishness. Thanks for nothing. They never paid me.
You've been watching The Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle. Join us every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and tell your friends and family to do the same. After all, we'd do it for you if you had a show. Probably.
You look, woman, to a theory. You look like a bag of chips stuffed in a cheap suit.
Are you employed in Philadelphia? Employed? You won't go out looking for a job just like that, do you? On a weekday? Is this what they do?